If you've been following us for a while, you might be wondering, how do these two broke college students afford to do van life and go on all their trips? In this video, we're going to go very in-depth and give you guys all the answers that you could ever want to know about us and why we chose this lifestyle and how we make it work.
So guys, before we get started, we just want to tell you a little bit about our story and how van life has really happened to us. So first off, about 2 years ago, I think, wasn't it? I figured out what van life was, and I fell in love with it. I've always wanted to travel my whole life, and I brought it to Ty, and tell him what you thought.
I was very skeptical. I had flown and gone to a bunch of different other states and things like that before, so I was like, why don't we just do that? But we also had to realize that we had no money to make that happen, and it was really hard to save up for all these flights and hotels and things like that. And so I really found it actually does sound like a pretty decent idea. And I was a construction management major at the time.
Yeah.
So I was like, heck yeah, I mean, building something, that's fine with me too. So it wasn't right away, but she had planted the seed that made me more interested in it.
And I wasn't really sure how it was going to turn out. This turned out way better than I expected it to, but I was really worried because I was like, we have zero experience, we have zero money. If we make a mistake, we cannot recover. So what happened was we spent all of our savings combined, because at the time we were engaged, and we spent all of our savings combined to buy this van. And then we took that chance, and we're really glad we did. So you guys might be wondering how two college students, newly married with a dog, is doing this, having this van and traveling around. And so, like I said before, we used our savings to buy it, and now we are just living off of pennies, but it's so worth it. We spend a lot of money on groceries and gas, but really that's about it. With this van, we get to travel and explore, and that's what means the most to us, because that's what we wanted to do.
We have our whole lives to make money.
Yeah.
We won't be able to travel freely for long. So
Exactly.
That was our trade-off that we had to weigh before we decided to do this or not.
Yeah, and to be completely honest, yes, it is hard. Some weeks when we get groceries, we have a budget and we have to stick to it, and we don't get to have a bunch of snacks and goodies that we would really like to have, and we have to stick with the plan, because if not, then we won't have enough money to travel or pay our rent for our apartment that we have to live in. So it's just a balancing act, and we've had zero help from our parents, zero help from anybody else. Affording this and affording our travels is 100% us, and to tell you the truth, we are so broke. But it's so worth it, and we highly recommend it to everybody. When deciding on making this all work, we started looking at vans, and what we've learned with dogs, with vans, is that if you're gonna start looking, you're gonna buy it.
So far, that's how it goes.
So we started looking, and it took how many months? Maybe 3, 4?
It took a little bit.
Yeah, before we even started looking for vans, we spent a whole year secretly planning. We didn't tell we didn't tell anybody, not even our parents. We just planned and thought, and was like, how is this gonna happen? But after 4 months of just looking for a van, we finally found this one, and it's really hard to find a van that's cheap and has not too many miles. But we landed this 2016, which isn't too old or too young, and I'm not sure how many miles was on it.
I don't remember when we got it either.
It was 100 and something. So our only worry was it was gonna break down, but we've been good so far. Knock on wood.
No kidding.
But yeah, so we're loving our van. We're glad we bought it 2016, and it's working out perfect for us.
Yeah. And another way that we kept costs low was converting the whole thing ourselves. You can go to actual specialists and things like that, which if you have the money, we probably recommend. But there are downsides to everything, but that would be great if you had the money. We didn't, and so we knew that it was going to take a lot of our own blood and sweat to make it work.
And getting hurt.
Yeah, especially you with the hammer. But we really like how it turned out. We're really proud of it. We also really did a lot of like homework and things like that. So we watched a lot of YouTube, which might not sound like homework, but you can really become an expert in really anything on YouTube. So Molly learned how to do the plumbing on YouTube. I learned the electric on YouTube. We learned how to do basically everything in this van on YouTube except for woodworking, because we knew that. So it was a lot of also background research and things like that. So that's another way that we kept costs low, was kind of keeping it to ourselves and converting it ourselves. That was one way for sure.
And trust us, our moms were very skeptical. They're like, "There's no way," but we did it.
Yeah, it looks all right.
Yeah.
And because of all of these things that we've mentioned, we're now able to travel around and go see all these cool things. Like we've talked about before, Molly has not really been anywhere, so it was really fun to like go places and see things with her. And it's also really fun to experience new things with Moose and let him get out and get experiencing things. It's awesome, and we are really appreciative of what we have. We have to keep costs very low. If you guys haven't noticed, we really haven't eaten on our trips because we can't afford to, but we can afford groceries, and so that's what we use them for. Yeah. And that's what we have been doing. So while we're on the subject of talking about doing things for cheap and things like that, and how we can even afford anything in the first place, we're going to talk about our jobs and how we make money in the first place. So I have an online internship that I do. It's 20 hours a week, and so I just work on various things. It's a lot of social media marketing and things like that, and I also do a lot of multimedia, so I design things on Canva and edit videos and things like that for them. And then I also work part-time as a tour guide at Ball State University. Chirp chirp. But so that's what I do, and both of those equal about 40 hours. The tour guide I get paid hourly, which is kind of nice, and the internship I get paid a flat fee, or not fee, a flat income. So that's how I make money.
Then for me, I was working like on-site job, but now I've started my own business in preventative nutrition, and so I'm working on that, and I can do that anywhere. I can work on the beach, in the forest, in the van, anywhere. So yeah, that doesn't bring in a ton yet, but I have guides that I'm creating, blog posts, just a bunch of affiliate marketing, advertising for other companies, brand partnerships, stuff like that. So that's how I'm making money. And we're starting to make Tandem Van Life into an actual business now. Our goal is to help budget-friendly traveling, and our other goal is to help people build vans, because that, we know, is very difficult.
Yeah. The amount of time that we spent on our favorites, Far Out Ride, Parked in Paradise, they helped us so much, because like we were on there every day, at least 2 hours a day, just looking and seeing how to do things. So we want to be able to do that same thing, help people out and make sure that they can have all the resources they need to build their vans as well. Yeah.
And also, Courtney and Nate, they have helped us tremendously with our electrical system. If it wasn't for them, we would not have electric in our van.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So, like, one thing we are going to do is, with Tandem Van Life, we're going to also, kind of like my blog, do affiliate marketing and brand partnerships. But also, we want to build the guides and for a small cost to help other people learn how to build a van. Yeah. So in summary, he has a regular job that is part-time on campus in his remote internship. I have my business in nutrition, and we are creating Tandem Van Life to be a business. So out of 4 jobs, we are making it little by little.
And you might be wondering, how do we make this work? How do we work on the road without constantly going into Starbucks because of COVID? How do we possibly do anything without Wi-Fi? Well, we have a cellular service called Visible. I think it's new, because we were looking into these like a while ago and it was nowhere to be found. And we looked it up again recently, and here it popped up. Visible is awesome. It costs $40 a month for unlimited text, calling, data, and hotspots.
And calls to Mexico and Canada.
Yeah, now we get to call to Mexico and Canada, which we don't really need to, but it's nice that we have the option. But it is awesome. It works off of Verizon towers, so that means that you get really great coverage. When we were hiking in the Hawksbill Gap in the backcountry of Shenandoah National Park, we had service.
Yes.
The part where we were in Maryland in our last video you guys saw where we didn't have any service, that was for about 5 minutes when we got right to the state park. So we have had service any other time, anywhere we go. We're both from very rural areas of Indiana, and we had perfectly good service there as well. So Visible is awesome. What's also really cool is you get $5 off per person that joins your party. So say like Molly starts and it's $40 for her, and then I join her party, that means we each pay $35. It's a really sweet deal. You can go all the way down to $25, I think.
Yeah.
If you have a family of, or a party of 4.
Yeah, and each person pays their own bill. So like we could ask our buddy to join us. He's not part of our family, but he could join us and we'd be a party and we'd each get $5 off per person, but yet we'd all pay our own bills.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
Yeah.
So that's what we really love about Visible. We think that's a really great service, and honestly, I think that if we had to pay for actual Verizon or Sprint or like the actual name brand, we probably wouldn't be able to work on the roads because they're so expensive. So this is awesome. We love Visible. And just so you know, this is not an ad. We are not being paid by Visible to do this. We just think that it's really awesome. We do have a referral link, so you guys can check it out below. It's a great thing to check out. Yeah. But yeah, we want to make you guys know that we're not getting paid to say this. We just think Visible is really cool.
It's awesome. So the next thing that allows us to do van life and make it a reality being broke is Harvest Host and the National Parks Pass. So first of all, I want to just start out by saying when you know that you're going to do van life or travel, ask for things that you can use for Christmas. So we got both of those things for free because of our parents. And what happened was my mom, so we asked her, we're like, instead of getting like clothes or just like games or presents, can we get the National Parks Pass and the Harvest Host like membership? And she's like, sure, why not? Because that can help us so much and save us like I think $200. Yeah. And we get to use that throughout the entire year. So first, the National Parks Pass, I don't know if do all of the national parks some national parks are free, but there's a lot that is not. Most
of the ones out west, so you'll find like Shenandoah, where we just went, you had to pay to get into. Yeah. But like New River Gorge is free. The Smoky Mountains, which is the most visited national park, is free. A lot of the ones in the east are free, but you'll find a lot of the ones out west are ones that you have to actually pay for, and that's where this comes into play.
So we get to just pull up to the like station and show our pass and go on in. We don't have to hand over any cards or cash, so that's amazing. Now for Harvest Host, it's even better. So instead of having to pay for a $65 campsite every night, which would get super expensive, very expensive, instead, you can pull up to a farm, a brewery, the wineries, or I think there's some like historic landmark places.
You can also do golf courses for an extra cost.
Yeah, but for one membership fee, you get to go to all those places for 365 days for free. You can go every place for free at night, and that is the greatest thing because that would add up so quickly.
I think it's $80 for a year-long membership.
I think so,
yeah. So, I mean, by the time you pay for maybe 3 nice campsites, you've already saved money. So, it's really awesome. And these places are always sweet. We love making sure that we stay at Harvest Hosts and things like that.
And the best thing is that it's not just a place to park your van or camper at night. It's a place you can actually, like, interact with people and get an experience. Like, our alpaca farm that we camped at. Check that video out if you haven't. But, yeah, so that is something we highly recommend. And again, we are not partnered with any of these businesses, but we do have another referral link for Harvest Host down below, so you might want to check that out.
The annual pass for the national parks is also a great money saver because I believe some national parks are like $25 to $30 to get into. So if you plan on going to a national park that you have to pay to get into more than 3 times, you might as well get the annual pass, and it'll save you money from there on out. So we're really happy with those decisions for sure.
Yeah, and even better when you ask for them for Christmas.
Exactly. One thing we did want to mention about Harvest Host is that it is self-sustaining camper vans only, so you need to have your own way of showering if you're going to shower, which sometimes you don't. And also toilet. They're not going to just let you go on their property. So that's one thing to keep in mind. So as long as you have those 2 things, you are welcome at any Harvest Host location. Yeah. And they're awesome. We love Harvest Host.
Yes.
Alright, so our other option that we do for parking parking. If we can't stay somewhere glamorous like a Harvest Host, it is called iOverlander. It's a free app that you can go and look and see where you can park overnight. For free. Some of them they do have where you pay, but it says on there like you pay $25 a night or whatever it is. Yeah. But iOverlander, if you watch any other van life people talk about parking overnight, you're going to hear about it because so many people use it. It is a lifesaver. So we could find out the nearest Walmart we can park at. Cracker Barrels, those are two big ones for van lifers. But places like that, or free parking off the beaten path and BLM lane, which is Bureau of Land Management. Those times you get like really awesome spots to camp, and they're free as well. So those are all located on iOverlander. So that's how we find places to stay as well. Like I said, if we can't find something super glamorous like a Harvest Host, and it's really helped us out a lot. We found our Walmart for the night in our Maryland vlog there, that way I should say, and we found a bunch of other things that way. So that's really great for us. And honestly, I don't know what we'd do without it. Molly looks ahead of time and sees where we can park and gives about 3 different options. So if this one doesn't work, we can go this one. It's really nice and it's very, very smart. You should definitely do it if you're considering van life to figure out multiple spots to park for the night.
You just don't know.
Exactly.
So when it comes to gas, all of you know gas is very expensive. We don't have diesel in this van, which helps, but it also doesn't help because diesel lasts longer and gives you better gas mileage, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But it also costs so much more. But our gas is very expensive in this van. We do have a good gas mileage. I think it's like
it's usually 18 miles an hour, 18 miles a gallon. Unless we're going in like the hills and things like that, then it dips down to maybe 15. But that's not too bad.
But that's our main expense when we're on the road. So, to decrease that, we have rewards. So one of them is the Kroger card, and states around, like in the Midwest, have Krogers. And you pull up, you scan your little card, and you get cents off. And that is really awesome.
You always get 3 cents off at least for having a Kroger card.
And then some other things, if you get on my phone right now, you will see tons of gas station rewards programs. There's marathons, there's BPs, there's
Pilot.
There's so many. And what that does is you download the app, and then each time you go to these places, you just hold your phone up to the scanner out on the pump or in the store, and you get cents off per how many. It just depends how many the thing is offering, but it's perfect. You save some cents and they add up in the end. So that's what we do.
For sure. To us, the most helpful is Kroger. Obviously, we live near Kroger's. Being in the Midwest, Kroger's like a huge thing here. So it's really easy for us to just use that and pay for groceries, and then use the Kroger card when you pay, and then it loads points on there. Then you get to save even more on gas. But even say if you are going cross country, the Midwest is huge. So if you're going to go through the Midwest, I definitely recommend getting a Kroger card, the first one you stop at, buying groceries there and to eat and things like that. And over the course of the Midwest, you'll find a bunch to fill up at. And you can, the savings are unlimited. I've heard of one person going like 90 cents off on a gallon. So, just do that. We love the Kroger cards for sure.
Yeah, and then just ask for gift cards for gas for Christmas. There's another option if you get a credit card that does cash back for, I think, gas or something. Then you can get even more money off for that. There's just so many options, but right now we just do the rewards app, so just look on the App Store.
So Molly just alluded to about saving money on reward or credit cards and things like that on gas. That is a great way to do it. We haven't gotten into it mainly because being so young, credit cards aren't really eager to take on our chances. So but if you have that option, definitely do it. But we have the Discover student cards, which is a credit card from Discover. Students, if you're out there and you're like a college student, check it out. It's a great way to start building your credit score and credit and things like that. But they offer a great cash back as well, and we use that, and so we use our credit cards to pay for gas and all of those kinds of things, so that way we get our cash back, and then we can use that for Airbnbs, and we can use it for eating out or whatever it is. And that's how we use our credit cards, and that's a great option. We definitely want to get more into using actual travel credit cards because those are really handy, but like I said, it's just kind of hard to get accepted by them right now. But we love our Discover credit card, our Discover student cards. Like I said, if you're a student, check that out for sure.
And not only, like, as you know, we don't really stay in Airbnbs, but like this summer when we're full-time, there's going to be times when it's just too hot to be in the van, and we're just going to want to take a relaxing night in an Airbnb, or there's a really awesome opportunity, and it's just nice to have that as a backup if you decide to want that.
Or if we're by Glacier or Yellowstone or basically any national park out west, Moose isn't allowed to go. And he can only stay in the van for so long, whereas we could put him in an Airbnb for a longer period of time and he'd be a lot more comfortable. So we're also looking forward to that as well.
So, as Ty was saying earlier, I take a lot of time before a trip, like a lot of time to look at things. But for activities and hikes, that is something that I take a lot more time than staying overnight in food, just because that's what we are traveling to do. We want to do things. And most of the time, we can only afford free things because groceries and gas cost so much. So what we'll do is I will get online and start researching on Pinterest, on Google, on everything, and see, like, what's the best free state parks in the area? What's the best free beaches in the area? What's the best just activities? Sometimes, yes, we will pay for something.
Yeah, for sure.
But most of the time, we try to find free things. Sometimes it's on accident. Sometimes it's planned. But I find Pinterest really helpful, and usually the best thing that I can find ideas
Usually
on.
Everything comes from Pinterest.
Yeah, so I'll just go on there and type in the state that we're going to. So say we type in Tennessee, and then I'll put free Tennessee hikes, and tons and tons and tons of pins come up, and it's unlimited of what you can find. Now you can also go on to Yelp, and they have options too. And what's the dog app that we use?
Bring Fido.
Yeah, Bring Fido is where you can figure out dog-friendly trails and stuff, and usually it will tell you if it's free or not, and that's another way we do it.
Yeah, and we love Bring Fido as well because they usually let people give reviews. It's out of bones, obviously, because of dogs. But so it's great for seeing if a beach is dog-friendly, and somebody says it's 3 stars, it's dog-friendly, but the people don't really like dogs. And you kind of get a sense of what you're getting into before you get there. Yeah. So that's one thing that we really like about that.
And then lastly, the last app we use is All Trails. Now, we do not pay for the subscription, but if you put your phone on airplane mode after you download, I should say it like this. If you find a trail that you that you want to hike, you go in there and you'll download it when you have data or Wi-Fi. And then whenever you're on the trail, you can turn your airplane mode on or whatever, and you can still see the map of the trail. But what we like is we'll go on there and find our hikes and everything, and it's just a great place to keep all of our free things lined up. So.
Exactly, we really like that.
Yeah.
And Tandem Van Life is actually on Pinterest now, so you can check us out.
Yeah.
I'll put the link, or not link, but the username right here. Yeah. Hopefully I can get it to follow my hand as it goes across. But yeah, so we really love Pinterest. That's a great thing. And by following us, you'll be able to keep up with that, because when Molly finds something, she'll 100% put it on our Tandem Van Life, so you guys can all save yourself the hassle of looking it up.
Yeah, there's tons of free places you can stay. There's places you can travel, food to eat, meals that you can decide to cook, tons of free things that you can try out.
Yeah. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. Really what it boils down to is, if you think that you have the means to do so, we're not telling you by any means as a culture to go into even more debt and take out a loan and things like that for a van. But if you have the means and you have the desire to do so, we definitely recommend thinking about van life. It has changed our lives. It's made things so much more fun, and we're so adventurous. I mean, Molly is talking about doing all these crazy things like bungee jumping and things like that she would have never even thought about.
Sharks.
Yeah, just things that she would have never even considered before we figured this out. And I think it's really cool to take that step of your life and figure that out. So we definitely recommend it. We think it's really awesome. And like I said, basically when it comes down to it, take the chance if you're willing, and it might work out awesome for you. We definitely recommend it.
Yeah, and by no means is van life for everybody.
Yeah.
Now, it takes a lot of dedication, and you might get into a van and after a month you hate it, and that's okay too. But if you're not 100% all in, I would suggest trying to rent a van. That's an option.
That's a great idea.
Instead of buying a van, converting it, and be like, oh, I do not like this.
Yeah,
because it can be really hard. It can be stressful. It's not the most clean thing. Like, you don't take...
We try our best to illustrate the point that it is not what you see on Instagram with people looking at their back windows at the beach and the mountains all the time. And a lot of people do that now on YouTube, which I think is great because it needs to be shown because it is important that you know that a lot of times you'll be spending time in a Walmart or a Cracker Barrel or things like that. But those times when you do get to spend somewhere really cool or go on an adventure with your best friend in your life and the man's best friend who's upstairs sleeping, it makes it all worth it for sure.
Yeah, so definitely just take a risk and have fun. And we just wanted to say thank you so much to our parents. Hi guys. Without your support and love, we could not have made this happen. We did pay for everything ourselves, but we still needed that support behind us, telling us we will make this happen.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for all the Christmas presents because they all do help so much.
Yes, and thank you, Dad, for the electrical help. We didn't get that on video, but seriously, without my dad, I was just a wreck. I didn't really know what I was doing. So it was nice of him to come out and basically tell me I was doing it right and get a little bit of guidance from the old man. So thank you for that as well.
Thank you. That wraps up this video. Thank you all for joining us. We really enjoy our time with you all. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. The more people that engage with these videos, the more people we can reach. And our main goal is to help everyone and anyone we possibly can. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest. It's all Tandem Van Life. And don't forget to check the links below for anything we've talked about. Those are very useful. And we will see you next week in 2 brand new states.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Yes. But until then, guys, we will see you later. Peace out.
So,
that's going to be awesome. Bye.
That was awful.
And also, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. It needs to be said again. Gosh dang it. Alright, we'll do it again.